Gang. Sending out these notifications. What out, gang? What to do with the business is, man? We got 58 people in here. Could y'all hear me? Could y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me or not. Somebody asked who is Cash Out. If you don't know Cash Out is the Atlanta rapper. His the song that he had, the hit that I remember him by is the song that he had called Cashing Out. Got a condo on my baby girl, I'm cashing out. I'm cashing out. Some my neck and wrist, baby girl, I'm cashing out. Some with Keisha, smoking on Keisha, smoking on Keisha. Y'all remember that? How can I meet you? How can I meet you? It's old as hell, you know what I'm saying? But uh, if you know, you know. Shout out Brooklyn, man. Shout out Brooklyn, man. Brooklyn be the place where we serve them things, man. The home of who? The home of Biggie and Jay. Think Fabulous from Brooklyn too, ain't he? Shout out Brooklyn, man. Shout out Flatbush, man. Shout out Marcy Projects. In the building. Chill. Riding around with Menina, smoking on Keisha. Smoking on Keisha. Yeah. Cause do a shot right street legs on JD for the Perry Courts. I'm gonna look into that. Somebody earlier asked me who the hell was Cash Out, and I started singing that song. And they was like, "Oh damn, that was him." Like, yeah, that was him. Shit, I don't remember Buddy from none but that one song. But that one song, that shit went crazy. Matter of fact, he got let me see. I want to say that came out around 2012. Okay, the song came out in 2013 years ago. It only had 15 million views, but it was no. Actually, the video, which I think this was posted late. It had 15 million views. This on Super Lyric Lovers, the song is actually at 55 million views. It was a big deal. It was a big deal around the time. Don't Make You Real. He had another song called Don't Make You Real. But at the time it was definitely a big deal, you know. Um he wasn't no small time rapper. He was a one hit wonder. Man, shout out Virginia, man. Bad News, Virginia. You know, he was a one hit wonder, that's what he was. And shit, it was it was a decent song. Sometimes I really wonder about a lot of y'all. Sometimes I wonder. Anyway, his mother also received 30 years. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Goal for this live is 250. Goal for this live is 250. Let me get my calculator out. Goal for this live is 250, man. Man, you know, we ain't always where we was, you know, but we damn sure where we need to be, you know. I told y'all that when I got out, I was gonna come back hard, man, and that's what I'm doing, you know. It's content and it's lives, even if not every night, every other night. I'm working behind the scenes, you know, off the scenes, I'm working. Just know I'm working, I'm working, I'm working. I'm trying to get myself back. I'm trying to get everything, you know, back in order like it was. But just so y'all know, I'm gonna continue to work. I'm gonna continue to work. I ain't stopping. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, share this, get them notifications out. Like I said, The goal for this live is 250. Okay, so like I said, Cash Out, he a rapper from Atlanta. He had that one big song, that Cashing Out song. And allegedly, after Cash Out, after his career started popping off, you know how it is. Groupies start popping out from everywhere. So Cash Out was getting so much love from the ladies, I guess he decided to start pimping. Well, pimping ain't like it used to be back in the 70s and the 80s, the 90s. Well, a motherfucker go out there and get rich off pimping. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it used to be. The last thing you want to catch is a RICO case, a human trafficking case. What is they calling it? Some type of sex slave case, slavery. You don't want to catch none of those type of charges, right? It was a guy from, I think he was from Oakland, if I'm not mistaken. Those of y'all that are from Oakland, man, get in the comment section. I'm pretty sure he was from Oakland. The dude that I'm talking about, a young guy, caught a case. He was a big deal in Oakland. And, he was like a young pimp, and he caught a case, man, and he ain't seen daylight since. We see what's going on with Diddy. We seen what happened to Bill Cosby. We seen what R. Kelly going through. Like, this is a bad time to be indulging in anything that look like it's sexual at all. You don't even want no domestic violence right now. Anything against women right now will get you a bunch of fucking time. I know guys that went to prison for domestic violences, So this is not a good time, but pimping is definitely dead. Like, there's no amount of money that justifies you getting life in prison. Life in prison is, in a lot of places, that's life in prison. That ain't just 25 to life. That mean life. That mean shit. Either you got a parole out or life without. Okay, so Cash Out, he got life on top of some more shit. And then the lady was running these charges consecutive. Now let me tell y'all what that means. If I get a life sentence, just say in Alabama, for instance, right? That's why I did my time at. That's what I'm most familiar with when it comes to time. In Alabama, if you get a life sentence, right? Now I know in most states it's like 25 to life. You have to do, I think, 25, and then you come up and then you damn near automatically get left out. Well, Alabama ain't like that. In Alabama, is life is life. So on your time sheet, you got an EOS day. But lifers, on their EOS day, either say one or two things. It's either 0000 or 9999, meaning you have no EOS day. EOS means end of sentence, right? So that means that one day, if you got an EOS day, one day you will be done dealing with the state. One day, all of your time will be done. You get that time back to them. Time served. Get the fuck on with my life. Y'all got it up out of me. I'm gone. Guys that have life sentences, they don't have that. Okay? So when you got a life sentence, you may get a 10-year setup or a 15-year setup. Now, what do I mean by a setup? A setup is the amount of time that you have to do before you come up for parole. Because just because you got a life sentence don't mean that you don't come up for parole. Because life sentence is a life sentence, but it's not life without. Life without means you don't have life without means you can't come up for parole. You have a life sentence, that means you get a setup on it. Most life sentences, their setups be 10 years. Some of them be 15. Some of them end up doing no less than 20 years, though, if we just being honest. Like, they'll give you a 10-year setup, but after you do those 10, you come up, they'll set you off for maybe 5, and then you'll come up, they'll set you off for another 5, and then after you've done 20, boom, they'll let you out on parole. You have to do a certain amount of time on a life sentence in order for them to grant you parole, but they can't give you, I think the most that they can give you on a setup is 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's how that works, right? So if I say, boom, I got a life sentence, and then I got 20, I got 2 20s. So I got 3 charges. I got a life sentence for one of them, then I got a 20 for the other 2, right? But they ran them concurrent. That means those 20s are sitting on top of that life or sitting up under that life because the life overrides the 20. The more time you get, it's going to override the less time. So if that ran concurrent, that means it's like they all together. You still have 3 felonies, but they all together. So when you finish doing time on one, when you bail out on one, you bail out on all of them. You bond out on all of them. Or you make parole on all of them, rather. Okay? If they say consecutively, consecutive means one after the other. So if I have a life sentence and 2 20s consecutively, they call them running wild. If you got 2 20s running wild, that means you have that life sentence and you have a 20 and another 20 after that. So how that works is, after you make parole on that life sentence, now you start on this 20. After you make parole on that 20, most 20s have an 8-year, 6-month setup. After you make parole on that 20, then you'll start on the other 20. So that's what we're looking at, roughly 16, 17 on the 220s. Then on the life, we're looking at maybe another, if you got time like that, they'll probably give you a 10-year setup. So we're looking at 27 to 30 years if you got that much time, right? When it's consecutive. Versus if they're not consecutive, you may be looking at 10 to 15, 20 at the most. And then if you do what you're supposed to do in prison, they'll let you out. That's the difference. So Cash Out's time is running consecutive. Not to mention his mama got 30 years too, which is crazy to me. This sex trafficking and pimping and doing all of this stuff is absolutely, listen, this ain't the 60s and the 70s no more, y'all. Motherfuckers is not going to come out here and come up like Don Juan and Pippin Ken and Fillmore Slim no more. Y'all ain't white folks and all them. Look, check this out. Listen, it was fun while it lasted. Y'all tainted and got over on these women, misused these women who are already mentally struggling. They was, either mentally damaged enough or dumb enough to allow y'all to do it. It was what it was. We know that in the black culture for years now, this has been like damn near like something that young black boys, especially in my era, was aspiring to be. I seen Pimps Up Hoes Down. I seen the Mac. I seen Superfly. When I was a young boy, I wanted to be like these guys. Seeing these guys with these pretty women. Don Juan, he from where I'm from. He from the side that I'm from. Don Juan is actually the uncle of my first cousin, right? On my father's side. On my mother's side. So we grew up around Don Juan. Green for the money, gold for the honeys. Seeing Don Juan riding around with all these women, all this money, At the time, it was glitz and glam, but now that I look back on it, he like a damn clown. You know what I'm saying? But back then, it was what the thing to do. It's either you was going to pimp hoes, you was going to play basketball, or you was going to sell drugs, or you was just going to be a gangbanger. Or do, you might do a gang, you might be a gangbanger and a pimp, like Don Juan was. Don Juan was a vice lord. Or you might sell drugs and be a gangbanger. In Chicago, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have something to do with gangbanging. Either your cousins them with it, or it's going to have something to do with gangbanging. Like, that's just what it is. We come from a gangbanging culture in Chicago. That's why I know a lot of y'all don't understand it, but I don't just be so hard on the guys, because at the end of the day, I understand it. That's where I come from. I understand. I know what you know not. By me being from Chicago, I understand that this is the way that these kids are raised. So there's nothing wrong with it. Sad to say, but they don't see it like it's nothing wrong with it, because this is the way that we're raised, right? Anybody from Chicago will tell you that if I link up with somebody from Chicago, if I run into somebody that's from Chicago, normally how we know what area you're from, or how we know what area that you're describing is what gang. Well, that's how it used to be. Now it's crazy. But it used to be, we would know what area you from, or what side of town you talking about, or which block you talking about, depending on what gang was over there. Oh shit, them Stones over there, ain't it? What, Superior? Oh, them Vice Lords over there, them Foes over there. Yeah, Madison. Yeah, them the Mafias. Yeah, real talk. That's how you would know. We just come from a gang banging ass city. Like, it just been like that. Like, that's always what it was. So a lot of people don't understand that, but yeah, that's something that we aspire to be. We aspire to be pimps, players, and all of that. That's why we was back then. We was pat on the shoulder when we had 3, 4, 5 different women. If one of the guys wasn't getting no pussy for real, then he was a lame. He was considered a goofy or L7. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was. Now it's like you can play if you want to. Straight up. You going to jail. You going to jail, gang. Stop playing with me. You going to jail, gang. For real. You can't do that shit no more. All that shit, that sex trafficking, when they start hitting people with that, look, I got a partner that caught one of them. Them bitches like 30 or 40. Just that charge, like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be careful. And then these women, they're going to get up there on that stage and they're going to testify on you. They're going to get up there on that stand and they're going to testify on you. You know? They're going to testify on you. 9 times out of 10, they're going to put you in the blender. Especially when the chips start falling. Shannon Sharp, he just settled out of a $50 million, I call it a contract. But it was a settlement. Some white girl to say he done did whatever he done did. He done settled out. I don't know how much it was, but I don't think she got the whole 50, but she got paid. People are using these stars and these people with this money to come up. So you got to be careful out here. So the days of pimping are over. And I kind of want to say that the days of having all these females and going back and forth between these females, bro, it's kind of over with for that. It is. It's over with for that. So, rapper Georgia RICO Act. They caught a whole RICO charge behind this. In addition to those charges, Gibson also faces 7 grand jury bench warrants, misdemeanors for pimping and pandering, 2 counts of trafficking a person for sexual servitude, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, and aggravated assault. Records show Gibson was originally booked by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office on August 28th before being transported to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office on September 20th. So clearly they see, man, that yeah. They trying to they ain't no trying nothing, they stuck it in them. Also, he's turned down a 25-year plea, right? So one thing about when you turn down these pleas, normally when they offer you something like 25 years, they pretty much got you. And 25 years, it will be considered to be lenient depending on what your charges are. These are very, very, very serious charges that carry a lot of time. So guess what? That 25 would have maybe done him some justice. He chose to take it to trial. Anybody know that knows anything about the system, if you choose to go to trial versus copping a plea, if you lose in trial, the penalty is 10 times worse, normally, right? So he went to trial. He went to trial and he lost. After he went to trial and he lost, at his sentencing, this is what he had to say.
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life, And you know, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect, but the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, you know, show remorse to, you know, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is Kiara Adams, Deanna Sanders, and Jasmine Brown. Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me, and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women. Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice, before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice, before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault Deanna Sanders for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault Kiara Adams for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations, because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me, or you can't do this. Every woman you've seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see, you know, how valuable life is, and how valuable the people that you hang around, or the people that you even date, or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from. It's baffling.
All right. Hold on. I would like to give a big shout out, man, to Love and Loyalty. Say Ohio in the building. She definitely be showing love, gang. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. She be putting her best foot forward, man. I definitely appreciate you, baby girl. You are greatly appreciated. All right, chat. We at fuck I'm doing. All right, we at 2:30. I appreciate that love, definitely, baby girl. And I appreciate my my chat too, man. Straight up. Queso. Oh, I got something coming up dealing with Queso too, man. It's crazy you said that. I definitely got something coming up dealing with Queso. Y'all talking about Queso from, I think he from what, Jacksonville? I got something coming up dealing with him. Real talk.
Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. Never. I've been traveling all around the world from here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature. I feel like and somebody asked me this the other day. It was like, every time I see your head high and you always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence and you know you can be falsely accused of things. Jesus was falsely accused. A lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that emotion like you've done something, you know. So if you see me with my head high, or if you see me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair trial, just me getting to know you during trial.
Before we continue, I got a real deal question, right? And I want a real chat. I want y'all to give me y'all honest opinions on this. I notice when people are about to get sentenced, right? It's always Jesus and God and reading scriptures and you to change your life and you sorry and all of this. Do y'all honestly think that shit work? That them people care about that? Those people care nothing about that. Straight up. Them people already know what's finna be done to you, and a lot of times that leads you to a worse sentence. A lot of times that enhance your sentence instead of you just being like, you know, I apologize for what I did, or just not saying nothing. It is what it is. I just hope that the court show mercy upon me. It is what it is. This shit right here ain't gonna change the situation. It ain't gonna make it no better. It never does. People want to throw up the Bible and Jesus and all that. Where was Jesus when you was pimping these hoes, man? Where was Jesus when Jesus ain't got nothing to do with what you had going on, brother. This is the type of stuff that makes me feel some type of way, because religion is always used to try to con or dupe somebody into doing something. Not religion ain't. Jesus don't know nothing about what you had going on, dog. He talking about kind of put him in the mind of Jesus and all that. Jesus was a prosecutor. Man, nigga, you was out here pimping. You was pimping some hoes. Jesus was going around preaching and teaching the word of God. Standing on business. You standing on hoes' necks. Come on, gang. You had your foot on these hoes' necks, gang. You know, not to just judge you like that for it. I understand, you know, I never judge nobody about how they get their money. It is what it is. I feel like us as black people, we're so harsh when it comes to one another. We harsh. We downright pimping ain't easy. Slap a backhand, a hoe, bite a motherfucker ear off. Just completely, absolutely downright dirty when it comes to each other. I do feel like that, because that's what it is. That's what's being displayed always. You done went to trial, lost, and now here you go with this goddamn Jesus speak. They remind you of something that happened to Jesus. I bet that lady sitting up there, look at her face. He's sitting up there like, I know this nigga didn't go here. I know he ain't just go here. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Bet. Can't wait till this nigga get through talking. Yeah, women are pimps too. You know what I'm saying? And it's looked at different. It's kind of like a what do we call it? A double standard. I get that. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about right here, right now, him being sentenced and him getting up here saying this dumb shit. Talking about Jesus. Nigga, Jesus ain't had no parts in that shit you had going on. Let's go.
I was like, you know, she's just a judge. But when you sit 12 people in that panel and you know, have them, you know, judge our lives and, you know, put them in a position to judge our lives, you know, it takes you back to, once again, the Bible, when people had to judge these prophets' lives. And I say, if you know me, you actually know me. There's plenty of people that know me in this world. There's plenty of people that know me in this jail. There's plenty of people that know me where I'm from. Like I say, once again, I'm not perfect. I come from certain areas. I come from, you know, certain.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this because I see some of y'all in the comment section. Y'all are absolutely right. Life is crazy, but we not gonna act like we don't understand that the color of your skin means everything when it comes to this stuff. The president of the United States just got 31 charges, and he's the president before he became the president. As far as I understand, they threw those charges out. He just got a life sentence. Your skin validates the fact that you're going to get treated unjustly in America, whether you like it or not. I just watched a video where a guy got pulled over. They're telling him to let his window down. He's clearly saying that his window won't roll down. They came to the other side of the car. They ain't even told this man what he did. They bust the window and just started beating him in his face and snatching him up out the car on some Rodney King shit. We got to stop sitting here acting like we don't, it don't matter. It don't matter if you're black or white. Da-na-na-na. Yeah, the song was cool. Michael Jackson, he did his thing on some he shit. He did his thing. But in reality, it don't work like that. It does matter if you black or white. Hugh Hefner did no less than a lot. All of Diddy, R. Kelly, Hugh Hefner was no different. But how did they treat Hugh Hefner? Hugh Hefner made tons of money, had a whole freak house, had freak offs all the time. And when they came at Hugh Hefner, you know what he told them? Fuck off. And you know what they did? They fucked off. Cash Out running a 2-bit hustle pimp house with his mama in the hood somewhere. And he getting a life sentence. You see how that works? A life sentence is crazy, but we got to start understanding that. Guess what? It's not like we want it to be. Yeah, we want them to have remorse for us, show us mercy. And yeah, it may be a black face. All of these faces that you see are the same color, but guess what? They whitewashed, baby. Or power wash, rather. It ain't necessarily just black and white. They come from the same system. Look how this bailiff standing up here. Look at him over here like both of them looking like they tough. Y'all some pinche miniates. Y'all some bitch ass niggas is what y'all are. Look at the judge with her shades on back there. Finna get these people buku time. Crazy, stupid, dumb time that they'll never come home from. You think these people care about that? No, they don't. Because at the end of the goddamn, at the top, at the very tip top, at the end of the rainbow, it's always an old rich white man. And if you don't do your job, you still got a job. It's a chain of command and you work for somebody. And if you don't do it the way he see fit, you won't have it. Period. Let's go.
Environments I come from, doing things in my past life before the music. But I'm here to tell you that if you sat in this trial and you paid attention to this trial, before these dates, no woman could ever say, I done those things to them. Before these dates, you can go on my Instagram and see these women enjoying themselves, having their own things, living their own life. Before these dates, I can say you had these women that never had anything to say about me before this indictment, before the RICO. You had these women actually talking to me while I was incarcerated. I've been incarcerated for 4 years, and these women are interacting with me. These women who took the stand and supposedly scared of me, or monsters, or or I'm a monster, or took these proffers. This wasn't the case before they was indicted. So from my perspective, I feel like some people can get bullied into a situation that they really don't really want to do. And I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation, that these things never happened. And when you see a person get up on that stand and put their hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that means you have to be perfect, like you're Jesus. You have to be perfect on that stand. You can't show a flaw. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me because I had flaws in my life. So you have to tell the complete truth on that stand. And I got up there and see people put their hand on that Bible and not tell the complete truth. And that's baffling. But at the end of the day, I put my trust in the Most High. I put my trust in the universe to bring out the truth, to bring out the truth of these people who made these allegations. To me, it's like you have no heart. You have no heart. And I know people want me to stay in line or walk a toe, but when you speaking something truthfully and you speaking from the heart, and you know that this is not your character, something must be said. And I just wanted to address the court and give my perspective on the things that I felt during this trial, and the judgment that I felt that the jurors gave us was not the correct judgment. And it will show. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Matthews.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing Mr. Gibson to speak to this honorable court.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello.
You know, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Real deal. That's real deal crazy. Sad for real. Make you think. I feel sorry for for people in situations like this, but it's hard to, because at the end of the day, we know. Knowing is what, y'all? Somebody help me out. Knowing is what? What do they say about knowing? Knowing is what? Knowing is half the battle. They say that knowing or knowledge means to know the ledge so that you won't fall off. You niggas know the ledge, but you still falling off. And y'all understand if you 19, 20, hell, I even understand if you 25, 26. Come on, Cash Out, you a grown-ass man, dog. For real. So when it happened to you, you can't even, what could you do or say? It is what it is. We've seen this happen to so many before you, Cash Out. This is just not the era for that. This nigga out here in 2025 still talking about he pimping. Look, you run as far, you get as far away from that nigga as you could. That nigga's going down. His ass is going to jail. For real. He going to jail. She talking about make sure that you don't go. Let's just play this. No further ado. Let's play this. That's his mother he with, y'all.
Right. Ms. Hannah, you ready? Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, during the course of this trial, the court heard and viewed evidence demonstrating the very worst of human behavior toward other human beings. The jury verdict in this case reflects that the state met its burden in proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the diabolical conduct of the defendants occurred. The sentencing to be meted out by this court will be responsive to that. Mr. John Michael Hakeem Gibson, would you please stand? Okay. On count one, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 10. On count 10, rape, life in confinement. Count 12.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do, y'all. We're gonna add this shit up. We're gonna do the math on this. Y'all help me do the math on this. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But we're gonna try to be right. So far, he got 20 years plus life. Okay. So that's 20 years plus a life sentence. So after the first two charges, your ass ain't getting out. Right? Okay. Let's keep going.
Aggravated sodomy, life in confinement to run concurrent.
So that's 20 years plus 2 life sentences. Now the first 20 was ran consecutive with the life sentence. The second life sentence is concurrent. So the 2 life sentences are like 1 life sentence.
With count 10. Count 22, trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1. Count 23, trafficking a person for
That's 40 plus 2 life sentences right there.
sexual servitude.
They ran that other 20 consecutive as well. So that's 20, 20, and a life sentence.
20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 22.
That's 20, 20, 20, and 2 life sentences, which is ran concurrent, so it's 1 life sentence. That's 60 plus life.
Count 24 on the lesser included offense of battery. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10.
That's a year added on to that, so that's that's 61 years plus 2 that's plus 2 life sentences, which is 1. The year they're gonna run concurrent though.
Count 25, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 23.
We have 66 years.
Count 26, pimping. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10.
Then that's 66. That's
Count
running
27,
concurrent.
pandering. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 28, keeping a place of prostitution. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 29, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 30, simple battery, merges into count 24, battery. Count 45, possession of prohibited items by an inmate. 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 25. Conditions of this sentence: no contact with any of the victims named in the indictment, to include Diamond Irvin or their families.
Now this is my this is what the fuck that this is the part I got an issue with. For one, could anybody tell me what they saw right there when she was issuing out that time? Dealing with the consecutives and the concurrents. Did anybody notice anything? Get the likes up, man. What I noticed was she gave away a 20, a 20, and a 20, and a life sentence to be ran consecutive with each other, right? When she start announcing that little time, those 5 years, those 1 year, those 12 months, you notice that she ran all of that shit concurrent? Why you couldn't run none of these goddamn 20s concurrent, ma'am? With this life sentence? Because the life sentence overrides all of it, for real. So if I ever just so have a parole out on this life sentence, I got to start on another 20. Then I got to parole out on that 20 and then start on another 20. Then after I parole out on that 20, I got to start on another 20. I got to make parole on a life sentence and 3 20s. I got to make parole 4 times before I actually make it out of prison. How old do you think this man will be if he ever sees the light of day again? Whew. Gotta be careful out here, gang.
You are to register as a sex offender. You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road in Atlanta. You are to stay away from the Mezzo.
Now I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Ain't no damn way he ever going back over there. How? By the time that man get out, if he make it out, whatever over there, that shit ain't gonna even be over there no more. Guaranteed. Whatever they got going on that address that she gave, that he said that she said he needs to stay away from, that shit ain't gonna even be that no more when he get out. Guaranteed. Might be a house now. That motherfucker might be just a plot of land, grass, or an apartment building over there. So it ain't gonna be nowhere near what it is now. That is a guarantee. Why are you telling me to stay away from them? You should have just gave me my time and sent me on all that shit. Stay away from the victim. The fuck I'm gonna ever talk to them again for? The only way I'm gonna talk to them is if they write me or something like that. If I got a phone in there or something to contact them, I wouldn't even want to talk to them hoes. Them hoes that got me 60 plus life. 60 plus life is crazy. And what's even crazy is that you sitting your ass right here in my face telling me, don't go over there, don't be seen. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck how am I gonna do that? How is it even remotely possible after all this time you just gave me for me to even get close to these folks? So you telling me after I escaped from prison, that's what you gotta be telling. If you ever escape from prison, don't go over there. Cash out what, 30s? Got to be late 30s. We ain't gonna even talk about the life. Let's just talk about these 60 he just got. 60 plus 30 is what? That's 90. People ain't living that long. He already 30. He just got 60 years. Plus the life sentence. I think it's safe to say that he'll never be able to go over there no more. Literally. For real. He 35. He 35. They talking about don't never go on this block no more, such and such. Bitch, just give me my time and get me the fuck on out here. I don't want to hear that. I lost her mind.
Condominium, 2171 Peachtree. You are to stay away from the St. George's Commons address, and you are to stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. All right, you may be seated. All right, Ms. Smith and counsel, please stand. As to count one, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years.
Let me show y'all something else, right? I had a robbery, right? I got sentenced 20 years. When they give you that time, that's how they do it. As if they're not giving you a fucking shitload of time. They read it just as not. They have 20 years to be ran consecutively with the life sentence. 22 years to be ran concurrently. You fuck 2 carry the 1. Bitch, you just gave me 60 years plus life, but you're not talking. It don't seem like it. So when in court, I'm still thinking that maybe I got a chance. But when I get to that back, like, nigga, you got 1,000 years. I always had in my mind that when they was reading off time like that, you know, like the movie, like, life. Like, damn, that's gonna fuck. That's how I always thought it was. Like, in my mind as a kid, I thought that when you got time, it was gonna be like that. No. Hell no. It is for you youngsters. Read that shit out to you just like that. 20 to be ran consecutively with 345 years. And what? So you sitting there like, oh, it don't sound that bad. Fuck, carry the 1. No, fuck that. I gotta carry the 2. No, I gotta carry the 3. Plus the 0. Add the 10. I gotta subtract that, the year, because that's ran concurrent, so I ain't got to do that. And you adding it up, and this shit just ain't right. And you know it ain't right before you get to the back, but when you get to the back, that's when they send that time sheet, and it's like, ah, damn. This what the bitch was saying the whole time? She didn't sound like she was, it didn't seem like that's what she was. Yes, the woman just gave you goddamn, basically, it's over. You ain't never getting out. That's basically what she just said. It's calm as hell. Super calm. Like, bitch, did you just take my life away? Calm as hell. For real. You shorties. That's how it works. Ain't no goddamn life. 20, 30, 40, 50. No. 300 years ran consecutively with 20 ran consecutively with count 10. Count 10 ran concurrently with count 2, which is 20 years. And you sitting up there like, damn, okay, shit. If I carry the 2, then goddamn, if I carry the 2 to minus the 1, I got to be straight. Whole time, man, you jammed up, bro. Your ass is, your dick is in the dirt. You will never see the light of get there again. I swear to God you won't. I caught my case when I was 18, 19 years old. I'm 37, and here I am still with an ankle monitor home for some shit I did back then. I was a shorty. Wasn't even in my 20s yet when I caught that case. That's crazy work. And that's how they was in there talking. and I'm in there trying to carry the numbers, and I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? They had me the 20. I went to carrying shit. I was like, hold on, well, I only got one charge, but if I minus the 10, carry the 2, it's only 20 plus 2, that's 12. Do 4. Shit, I'm looking good. Man, these folks smack me all upside the head for one charge. For real. I'm telling y'all. Keep on playing with these people. Thinking goddamn, it ain't go shit. All right. See, a lot of times we think the shit that we doing ain't that serious. Oh, I'm just out here pimping a couple hoes. Yeah. You out here playing, get yourself 1,000,000 years.
To serve in confinement. Count 37, trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 10 years to serve in confinement to run. To serve in confinement. All right, Ms. Smith.
This is mama.
And counsel, please stand. As to count 1, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement. Count 37, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 10 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive to count 1. You're to have no contact with any of the victims, including Diamond Irvin.
Now she got a 20 and a 10 to run consecutive, and which is not that as bad, but she still got 30 years. But she telling her the same thing. You are to have no contact. Like the bitch after you just gave me 30 years, you don't got to tell me don't have no contact with them. I will never talk to them again. The only way I ever even dare cross my mind is if I'm only trying to figure out a way to send somebody to knock that shit off. Straight up. You ain't never got to worry about SE and TV talking to them motherfuckers again. 30? Listen. All that I'm a pimp, I'm a player, all of the above. And that bullshit there y'all got going on in Atlanta and elsewhere, if that shit sound good, y'all be careful. For real. People are going down on a daily basis, and it usually starts with some type of lawsuit. Then there's a settlement. Then you in court. Then you getting a 50 ball. You know? Don't think everybody gonna get a Jeffrey or a Diddy sentence. Well, Diddy ain't been sentenced yet. I don't think Diddy's gonna get no time like that though, for real. Diddy, he got too much on too many people. But listen, everybody ain't beat no Fed cases. And when you do beat a Fed case, you exhausting so many of your resources to the point to where you damn near come out broke. And you never be the same again after that. Bill Cosby will never be the same. R. Kelly, when he does get out, he'll never be the same. Diddy will never be the same. You'll never be the same after that. Real talk. So I just want y'all to be conscious of what y'all out here doing, because it may seem like it's harmless, but in all actuality, we're in their country and we're up under their laws. You know what I'm saying? So you've subjugated yourself. You've placed them in jurisdiction of your life. So since you did that, guess what? You got to adhere to all their rules and regulations and their statutes. It is what it is. I hate it for Cash Out, man. I wasn't there. You know, I don't know how gruesome the crimes. I know they say he did some real gruesome stuff to those women. Those women got on the stand and, you know, said this and said that. And I hope that Cash Out has the opportunity to get out one day. Shout out my boy AZ King, man. Shout out the whole chat, man. Shout out the Crown chat, man. Straight up. Man, shout out the whole family, gang. I love y'all to death. Real talk, man. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this good Monday night. But yeah, it is what it is, y'all. I hate to see it. But see, this is the type of stuff that if we have to see it, if it has to take place, so be it. But this is what, and this is all I do it for y'all. This is July 21st, Monday, July 21st. Cash Out has been sentenced to 60 years plus life. We had to see Cash Out go out like this. Now, Cash Out is already a victim of the circumstances, right? Don't you go out like Cash Out. Don't you go out like so many before you. Don't you go out like SNTV went out. I had to be a late bloomer because they took all of my fucking 20s from me. They took all of my 20s from me. On some bullshit. Don't go out like me. If a damn sure don't go out like Cash Out. Don't go out like Diddy. Y'all see what's going on. Don't get caught up in the rapture. Because all that, hey, laughing and shaking ass, that turned into a frown when these people throwing in these football numbers at y'all ass. And then you get to be an old man, and if you do ever make it out, guess what? What do you have then? What could you do? How could you be how could you contribute to society? Let me answer that for you. You can't do shit. Because you old and decrepit, and don't nobody want to hire nobody that's old and decrepit. Where you gonna get a check from? Social Security ain't rocking with you like that. And you ain't nothing but a felon. And in his case, you a felon that got to register as a sex offender. Don't nobody want you around. Don't nobody trust you. And don't nobody love you. You all by yourself. From a couple bad decisions that you thought was good decisions at the time. Don't go out like Willie Lump Lump. Y'all know what I like to say, man. Before I get out of here, I would like to give a big shout out to Young King, man, for the donation. Young King 317. We appreciate you. Cash Out looks like he crashed out, gang. Don't be a crash out. Shout out to my boy AZ King. Shout out to my girl Tania. Shout out to the Ben Laden Chopper. Shout out to my girl Your Sweet Place. The Real Eye Spy. Big Diesel. Who we got? T Wilson in here. My boy AZ King said, come on, donate $4.99. Not gonna break you, my people. I definitely appreciate that. Y'all know what I'm all about, man. I'm all about that love thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna say that black thing. I'm gonna say that love thing because at the end of the day, it's like we all, and us included, we don't want nothing but love, right? We don't want nothing but love. We don't want to, at the end of the day, we don't want to do nothing but belong to something. We want to be loved. This is why we join societies. This is why we join gangs. This is why you got grown people entering in these clubs, men Masons and all of this. At the end of the day, camaraderie and unity is all that we desire. Whenever it's said and done, even if you beefing with half the world, you still got your family and your friends, and y'all get together and y'all have the best of times. Y'all can come up with shit and do shit and make plays. That's all people really want. Don't make life a cell or a box. Don't place yourself in a box, literally or figuratively, for making dumb decisions. For real talk. And take this from someone. Oh, I appreciate that love and loyalty. She said, keep dropping jewels. Much respect. Most definitely, baby girl. I'm going to keep on doing it because I feel like at this point, you know, the universe has called me to do that. That's what the universe has put me here for. You know, for a long time, I didn't understand what I was actually here for, but now I understand. Shorties hit me up all the time like, man, don't stop doing what you're doing. For real. If you stop doing what you're doing, I might crash out one day. I can't allow these shorties to crash out on my watch, knowing that I could have said something or possibly done something to keep it from happening. That's not me. That's not my heart. That's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Especially consider the fact that I'm a person that already fell into the hole in the road. I will not just stand by and allow others to fall in the hole in the road. So y'all take these examples that I give y'all, that I show y'all, that the world gives y'all and shows y'all, and y'all learn from it. Real talk. Shout out to Young King, man. Shout out to my boy AZ. We have content creators who beg you just for a live. Never heard SNTV beg anyone. Let's support him. You already know, gang. Y'all know what it is. You know, it's different when you genuinely got love than you just own this motherfucker for money. See, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, right? I'm gonna let y'all in on something I don't think that I ever told. I've told people, but I never told y'all. I went through stages, right? You know how we go through stages in life? I went through my stages in life being incarcerated. So when I first got locked up, I was young and wild. You know, my grandfather asked me one day. I remember this like yesterday. My grandfather asked me one day. He actually caught me with the gun that I actually I caught the robbery with, right? He took the gun. I went looking for my gun, and when I went looking for it, like, I was staying with my grandma at the time, so everybody was like, when they seen me like walking around the house looking crazy, like where it's at type shit, my grandma, she pulled up and like, yeah, go holler at your granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're looking for. Go holler at your granddaddy. So then I'm like, damn. So he on some shit like, I hear what you got going on out here, son. You stick up man? And then you bring this into my house? I'm on some shit like, man, they lying. You know what I'm saying? I just got that. I'm just holding that for somebody. You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah. All right. They got somewhere for you now. I'm gonna give you this back, but take this shit out my house. I appreciate that, old man. I bullshit you not. I bullshit you not. It wasn't 2 weeks later I caught this case. Swear to God, I bullshit you not. Warning comes before destruction. I caught this case. I got my time. I went to prison. When I got in prison, I thought I didn't kill, which at first I really didn't. In my mind, I really didn't. After doing that time, I became a man. I started maturing. I started realizing where I went wrong at, and I started wanting to change. I became a Muslim. I took the Shahada. I became I became a part of the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? When I became a part of the nation, a fire, it's like this burning desire really just lit up inside of me. And I had this, I felt like Malcolm. Like, I just wanted to save my people. I just wanted to let my people know that, well, we've been led astray. You know, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We've been bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come out of prison, and I just wanted to light a fire up under all of my people's ass. You know what happened? I got out of prison, and didn't nobody want to hear that shit. And niggas continue to be niggas. Niggas hated on me. Niggas crossed me out. Niggas did me bad. And I ain't talking about just no average, everyday Joes. I'm talking about family and friends. Same thing. And it kind of turned me, it kind of fucked my soul up. You see what I'm saying? And it kind of made me understand that, guess what? Even though I may have been put here to reach my people, everybody's not going to be receptive to what you have to say. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that, because if you're not okay with that, then that means that you feel like you can reach everybody. And if you ever feel like you can reach everybody, that's where you're going to go astray. That's where you're going to go wrong at, because soon as you don't reach a motherfucker, then is you feeling some type of way. You got to be willing to go in the lab. You got to be willing to get behind that pulpit, preach, or do whatever it is that you do. And if one person coming up, you got to complete your sermon. Because that's one person that, guess what, could have went down the wrong path that you helped guide right. So that's just how I look at it, y'all. I love y'all, man. At the end of the day, this ain't just YouTubing for me. That's why y'all see I put so much into this shit. It ain't just YouTubing for me. I'm not just no content creator. Hell no. I ain't just no content creator, gang. This shit real life. For real. I seen so many shorties in the joint. 16, 17 years old. Hell, I was young when I came in. When I came in, all of us had robberies. It was about 100 different shorties that I came into the prison system with that had robberies that all had the time that I had. And that shit wasn't no coincidence either. Real talk. So when I see y'all shorties finna do some dumb shit, I see y'all going astray, the path that y'all walking down, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gone, y'all. Elijah Muhammad says that anybody can be a prophet. He said that you can tell where a person is going to end up by the path they're going down. And I agree with that. If you walking down a dark path, I can stop you but before you get to where you going, before you get to the end of that path, I can stop you and tell you, guess what, son? If you keep walking down that path right there, you're gonna die. It's up to you to choose to turn around and choose a new path. But sure enough, if you continue walking down that path, you're going to die. Real talk. Y'all know what I like to say. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies and try not to get slimed out. It's your boy SNTV. I'm out. I love y'all, man.